Music is one of the few things almost all of us share, even if we don't share the same taste. It's in the background of our lives, tied to memories, moments, and emotions. Today on Talk Anything, we're talking about music, where it came from, how it's changed, and why it still matters so much to us. And yes, I know, it took us a bit, but we're finally here. So, where do you even begin with the history of music? There's so much of it and so little time. Music didn't just start as entertainment in the way that we think of it today. Long before concerts and albums or streaming, music was communal. It was rhythm, clapping, chanting. Something people did together to mark moments, tell stories, and make sense of the world around them. But it was also something people genuinely enjoyed. Music brought people together, lifted moods, created celebration, and gave moments of escape from everyday life. Whether it was dancing, singing, or simply listening to music, music was one of the earliest ways humans found joy together. Over time, instruments developed, songs were passed down orally, and music became tied to culture and identity. Different communities developed their own sounds, not because they were trying to create different genres, but because it reflected how and where people lived and what they valued. Everything changed though once music could be recorded. Suddenly sound could be captured, replayed, and shared far beyond the moment it was created. Radio then turned music into a shared experience on a massive, massive scale. Entire generations enjoying the same songs at the same time. And then more recently, music became personal. Walkmans, iPods, and now streaming meant music followed us everywhere. It stopped being just something we shared publicly and became something we carried privately, a source of comfort, motivation, and enjoyment throughout our daily lives. So when we talk about music today, we're not just talking about sound, we're talking about memory, identity, enjoyment, and connection, which is why it means so much to so many of us. So today, I thought, why not bring in a person whose passion is this great art form? They care so much about music that they're even studying it and wanting it to be, the dream job. So joining me today is Roni, a songwriter and singer. So, Roni, how are you?
I'm not too bad. How about you?
Oh, easy morning, so far so good. Let's get into it. My first question for you is, what is it about music that creates such a strong passion for you?
Passion. Oh, I love the fact that music can just be anything. So it can shapeshift, it can transform, and it can transform your mind into anything. And it's just, it like
Do you have an example of what you mean?
like when someone says, let me try and think. Okay, you've got the How to Train Your Dragon theme song, let's say.
Yeah.
That emotion is all captivated in that song. Like, you can feel the dragon ride, like the dragon rides being so happy and exhilarating that you just want to join in as well. So the passion about music is just simply how music can just do that, and it can shape shift people's imagery and people's minds.
And is that why you love it?
Definitely. I love trying to change. I love welcoming people into my imaginary world, because ever since I was a little kid, I've got such an active imagination.
Don't we all?
I used to ride those dragons, but like only in my brain.
Yeah, sadly.
But yeah, so I love welcoming people into that little world, into my little crazy land. That's pretty good.
It's an interesting thought about that, actually. And it kind of brings me into my next question. Why do you think, music as a whole, it matters so much to, people?
Well, I reckon it is because of that imagery. It's that emotions, those feelings, those the fact you can link any memory into a song. So if I say the song Teenage Dirtbag, yeah, you can probably imagine your teenage years just like chilling back, or the early 2000s.
Well, see, the thing is, every time I hear the word of that song, I instantly think the simple fact I grew up with it because my mother, big fan of Nirvana.
Yeah, Nirvana's amazing. And like there's so many songs like that. Like you've got oh, now they all disappear from my brain.
Oh, sounds about right.
You've got any song from Black Sabbath, probably people will link to as childhood, because a lot of the songs just connect back to childhood because it's what your parents listened to while you grew up.
That is true. I mean, on the Instagram, I made a I asked people to say what, songs remind them of their childhood.
Yeah, I saw the fruit salad one. That was, love that one.
Oh, the Wiggles. You can't deny Wiggles takes you straight back to childhood.
100%. Damn, those Wiggles are good.
My favorite was Big Red Car.
Ah, yes. Choo choo chugga chugga big red
actually, you know what song takes you back to childhood?
I gotta say, oh my god, maybe Fireflies, because I saw that on your Instagram as well.
Yeah,
and
there was a couple of Fireflies recommendations there.
And I kind of saw that and I was like, damn, I remember those good old days.
Fireflies definitely does just give you that moment of, oh yeah.
Yeah. And then even that one, like when he says, I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly. Like that is such vivid imagery with bringing us into his world that like, and you hear it along in the verses as well, that he says like, a foxtrot above my head, a sock hop beneath my bed, a disco ball is just hanging by a thread. Like it's those vivid imageries that people can link to their world and be like, oh my God, I remember having that most craziest dream that one night. This song is just connection for me.
Yeah, you know what? I have to agree with what you've said. Yeah, that is definitely true. Yeah. Do you think music is, better when it's shared, like live shows and communal listening? For example, when we went to Hoysia.
Yeah. Oh, that was a great concert. Look, I guess it depends on the artist, because there are quite a few artists that is probably better from behind the computer screen. Like, I don't want to point any names because it's like controversial. But there are a couple artists that I definitely have names of.
That you think are better if you just watched it in private behind a screen or whatever.
Okay, probably everyone knows about this one, but Mariah Carey's recent voice. Like, her performances now aren't as great as she was back in the days. I actually
had no idea about any of this.
Yeah, she's had quite a few surgeries with her vocals, so they're not as great as they were back in the days. Right. So now I reckon she's an artist to be said that is probably better behind the screen rather than live performance.
And what one do you think is, a must-see live performance?
Pink,
of
course. Pink, incredible. I went to go see her on her summer carnival tour. That was incredible. Still has that ability to fly across the room and sing at the same time, which is incredible. Granted, as well as I'm saying this, not she herself has better vocals as a younger, or give or take, because some of her newer stuff is actually pretty good.
That is true.
But it's, like I said, it's controversial to the artist.
I actually saw this video on social media of her doing her vocal training, and I think the person that was doing the interview was actually able to stand on her stomach as she did it.
Incredible. I don't know how she did it.
As soon as I watched that, I'm like, how?
Yeah. And then she'll still sing the way she did. Oh, that was great.
That was, yeah. So I understand how she can, swing around the damn room and still sing.
Yeah. And like these artists that I'm talking about, these women are like in their, I think, 40s coming to 50s. So being able to still be on stage sounding mediocre is incredible, because as you get older, your voice does start to either deteriorate or it shifts.
That's why my singing career went down the drain.
That didn't even start. But no, it is true. Like once you get older, you start either not. You will never sound the same as you did last year,
Of course.
and that's the way it's got to be.
So, as I said in the introduction of you, you are a songwriter yourself.
Yes.
So, I have to ask, what brings you the inspiration to, have that motivation to write your songs?
Well, I'm a very emotional person, but I'm also a very horrible person at sharing my emotions. So it's...
I don't mean to laugh.
Yeah, no, they contradict themselves a lot. So the best way that I found was for me to, write my feelings into song form, because you can hide little messages in that song to give it an even darker. Like if you want to say, I'm the most happiest person in the world, you don't say that in a song, but you can definitely imply it, like, because I'm happy, clap along.
Okay, yeah, good point. Good point.
Exactly. So it's just ways to be able to share your emotions, but not in such an upfront way, and to once again share your world that you live in.
Do you think parental factors have a impact on why we love certain things?
Definitely. Like your parents listen to certain music, and that can definitely shape you into what type of music you'll like in the future.
Do you think your parents helped?
Definitely. They listened to South American music my entire childhood. We were all into dancing, all into like that. We're South American background, so we've got all that culture, which is incredible. And just them listening to that music, I reckon, has helped me shape my ability to feel the rhythm, feel the beats, and take them in different varieties.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
If that makes sense.
I mean, I do get what you mean, because due to my parents, I grew up with AC/DC, Metallica. Actually, I'm wearing a Metallica shirt right now.
I can fact check that. It's right.
And I know that those songs, although when you take a look at me and you take a look at what I do as a person, don't seem like my taste in music.
Yeah.
I actually quite enjoy them.
Yeah.
So I do have to agree with what you're saying about
100%. Yeah, and it's your loudness, your shyness, because I have found that if a family doesn't really listen to music much, their kid will tend to be a bit shyer or a bit more quieter and a bit more timid in the background. I mean, granted, you can be very timid and listen to like heavy metal.
That is definitely true. I know of you.
Yeah, that's all a personality thing. But like it does impact quite a bit.
Oh. So I got a question. Do you think, well, actually, no, let me rephrase it better. Where do you hope, your music career and journey goes to?
Ooh, the big dream is to be as big as Ariana Grande on stage. That would be incredible. Touring the world,
reaching the
seeing
peaks,
them.
eh?
Yeah. But you got to reach high to be able to get somewhere.
True. That is definitely true.
So the next biggest dream would be to produce for other artists, write their music and help them tell their story.
Right. Yeah.
And being able to like add a bit of a uniqueness into their songs as well.
Oh, that's actually really sweet. Now I think about
it.
Well, that is all we have. So I want to thank you very much for coming onto the show.
Thank you for having me.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Talk Anything. Next episode, we take on what we don't talk about enough, death and how it connects us, more than we realize. If you'd like to keep the conversation going, make sure to follow the podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.